Thank you, Bill. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Yes, good? What do we think of this gorgeous weather, finally, huh? Done with the rain, a little sunshine? My name is Diana Carlson, and I am the very, very, very proud principal of Monty Tech. I have to tell you that I'm also a graduate of Monty Tech. My daughter just graduated last Wednesday, and I actually have a kiddo coming as well, so yay! So we sort of all bleed purple and gold here. And I tell you this, guys, because I hope that your introduction to Monty Tech, I hope that you get the excitement that you hear from our staff, from our students. I know that many students, many parents that are sitting here have attended many of our open houses. I know your children have attended our summer camps, our VIP sessions, and are part of what you're here. Before we start, I want to say congratulations. The fact that you're here today means you are our next Bulldogs, and hurrah for you. So congratulations. Let's give you a round of applause. And I would be remiss to say, guys, we sent, and Miss Laney, which Miss Laney over here, I know many of you know her by voice. I know she did a lot of interviews in school. Miss Laney is a person that is responsible for reviewing every single application, okay? Every single application, interviewed every single student, dealt with questions. We also have Donna Schaff in our student support offices that also is a huge help to Miss Laney in filing the paperwork, scheduling all of those interviews, assisting with that. Again, Donna is not here this evening, but again, I want to mention her name because again, she's a huge asset to making sure this is a huge task. And while we sent 350 congratulations, you're our next Bulldog, we also sadly had to send 405 letters to students saying, we're sorry you're on our wait list, okay? So that's a big deal. And actually, it pains me to say that, right? Because I truly believe in what we do here at Monty Tech, and I really wish that every student that was interested in coming to Monty Tech could come here, because we stand on what we do and how we do things here. So, congratulations. I'm going to follow my little thing. So part of tonight is just putting some faces to names. In the fall, just so you know, we're going to have another parent orientation. The last call that I sent home to you guys with an email, you'll notice that we have 2 orientations for students, and Ms. Lane is going to go over that a little bit. But again, that's at that time when students come in, you'll have your physical schedule, so you'll be able to walk around to your classes and you get to know upperclassmen and get to know, obviously, your classmates. Today is just a quick little info session to give you some tips and tools on what to do over the summer, certainly as you prepare to enter Monty Tech and enter in high school. One thing I will say, the transition from middle school to high school is a big one, right? The transition from middle school into Monty Tech, it is huge. And I don't say this to scare you. I'm saying this because of our schedule, because of the size of the school, because many of you are sitting in the district where you know every single person in your class, right? You've been going to school with these kids and you're yay big. You're coming into a school. Remember that we serve 18 cities and towns, so we have kids from all over. You may hear of a kid from a town that you may not have heard of before. I don't know. That happens sometimes. It's like, where's Peter Sam, right? So part of that is it's a big transition, right? The AB week schedule, that's also something. And again, over the summer when you come in for the orientation, your school counselors will talk to you about that too. But that is a big shift too, okay? So I don't say this to scare you. I say this because I know that it's a big jump, okay? It's some of the things we're going to do are hard, right? You can all do hard things, so you are prepared, you're resilient, you're ready to do this, you're ready for the next step. So you committed to coming here. We want you to be here. We have many of the students that want to be here that are not here, okay? So put your best foot forward. Do you want to go to the next? Yes. So, the one thing that I want to say, we have over 40 schools that feed into Monty Tech. So when I talk about your 18 different cities and towns, we have kids that are coming from local schools, we have students who are schools outside of the district, we have students that have gone to charter schools, whatever it may be. They may be going to school where their parents work in the district. So part of why we do that placement exam that most of your children came to, because we really want to have a better understanding to see the skill level of your students, and that certainly helps us better place your students. So Our school counselors and our teachers have reviewed all placement testing based on the recommendation from your Senate district, based on previous MCAS scores, and based on how students did on that placement exam. We want to make sure that your students are properly placed to ensure that they have the most success while they're here. So that's something, again, once you get the schedules, I know as people were walking in, some folks had questions on, I think my kid may have put in pre-AP, but I'm not sure they want to do that. There'll be time and an opportunity for you to have those conversations. And remember, your child will get their schedule over the summer when they give them their orientation, and there'll be time to have those conversations. But please trust the process. Now, I'm going to tell you about all the different schools. Folks, as you come in, just come on in, don't be shy. We're all family now, so come on in. So, and part of when I talk about the different schools and the different Senate districts, part of that is kids and parents come with many different rules. In order for you to be successful, I believe in any school, especially here, you have to come to school. I don't get to just have a headache and stay home for the day. I have to come in, right? We have to push through. I can't tell you enough, I cannot stress enough. You need to be here. We have supports for you, we have assistance, we have it all, but you have to show up to school. We have this, and I say this, but I have this conversation with parents all the time. You're in a vocational school. You have academics every other week. That doesn't mean that we give you half the work or half the academics. Trust me, your kids are doing the work. So if you miss a day, you're missing a lot of work. If you miss a vocational day, okay, you cannot take a bumper home. You're not going to be able to wire a switch. You're not, right? You're not taking a lathe home. So if you miss, we cannot duplicate that learning in your home. So, mom and dad, children, sometimes you have a little headache and you tell mom and dad, oh, I'm feeling a little under the weather, or it's up late. Doesn't happen. You get your butt to school, all right? I come to school, we all come to school. Unless you're sick where you can't physically be here, okay? We are super tough on attendance. You need to be here. And again, let me remind you that we have 405 kids that are going to be here, okay, that want to be here. So please. The other piece is, when you are here, getting involved in sports, right, activities. We're actually fresh out of the gate here. We're looking to, we haven't had band, we don't typically have band here, but we had partnered up with a school back prior to COVID, and we're looking at potentially partnering up for band, and we're super excited to hopefully once fall comes to be able to add that. But we have so many clubs and activities, so getting involved, getting to know students. It's super cool when you're hooking up with an upperclassman and you're doing your math homework and thinking, oh, that teacher and all the homework. And for that upperclassman to say, hey, you know, I can't hang in there. I've been there before, we can get it done. So it's important for kids to make the connections with other students, not just in their academic classes, but even the upperclassmen, whether it's through a cover activity, our ROTC program, during any of our athletic events, and so forth. So please get involved. The other thing to the students, I want you to hear me, okay? Most of you are 14, 15. When you step foot in this building, this is a high school. I don't like to babysit children. I'm going to sound mean. I'm really not mean unless you don't follow the rules. Okay, I love little kids, by the way. I steal babies, so I'll rock your baby if you have a baby later. But I cannot stress enough. We're all young adults here. I have very high expectations for everyone that walks through our door, okay? My biggest thing, okay? I want you guys all to do well. I want you to be successful. I want you to get involved. I need you to be kind, and I need you to be respectful, right? Very basic, right? Social media, communications. The boyfriend, the girlfriend, this one to this, one's in my hair, right? I got dressed for myself today. I didn't get dressed because I wanted you to think I look nice. If you don't like my hair, I'm sorry. It's my hair. I like it today, right? So what I ask, and I say this to kids all the time, because kids, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that's happening. Trust me, we're all moms and dads here. We have eyes and ears everywhere. We have cameras everywhere in this building. If you do not have something nice to say, what do? Don't say it, right? If I have to whisper, or if I have to look the way to make sure, oh, just, you know, I can go and do this, I'm doing something wrong. Don't do it, okay? For parents, I know that when we have conversations, and we may have some difficult conversations, I understand that you're thinking of your child. I'm thinking about the 1,420 students that are in this building, okay? So, again, I want you to think about that, right? Every action, every decision you make, there's an impact right with that. So, I tell you this not to scare you, but I tell you this because, again, we have high expectations. We are training students to continue on beyond Monty Tech, to go on to college, to go out into the workforce. We have kids that are working out in the community. You're representing yourselves, your family, Monty Tech, your program, your instructors for future bulldogs as well. So please, please, please be mindful of that because that is something that we'll lead with and things that will remind you of. That's fine. I'm getting out of breath because I talk fast. Okay. And by the way, I have to say when I say hi, this is my parents. They weren't getting together because we both wear jean jackets. But this is my assistant principal, Katie Schmidt, who again is phenomenal. Again, all of us actually have children in the district. And again, huge supporters. And again, part of our job is to make sure that you guys feel supported and that you are happy to be here and doing great things. Quickly, I know you heard my communications, right? I send a call and then an email. If you get annoyed with my voice and my long message, hang out. My feelings will not be hurt. Know that an email is coming with it, okay? If you're getting my call or you're getting an email and not the other one, just make sure you email back or you call and say, hey, by the way, I didn't get your call. The reason why I always send the voice is because I think it prompts people to go look at the email, okay? But basically everything I say, and often it'll say look at the attachment in the email, will be exactly what's in your email box. So just, that's the way that we do most of our communication. Snow days, orientations coming up, if there's any information, when your child's report card is coming home, I say, hey, look at the portal, we have our report cards. We use Power School. How many of you have used Power School in previous districts? Beautiful. Okay, so that's what we use here. Some teachers use Google Classroom, some use Schoology, but all of our grading is in Power School. You're going to receive information on how to access your child's Power School. Please, parents and families, this is the best way for you to stay up to date with your child's work and their progress. We do progress reports, we do report cards. You'll get a call from me saying, hey, your kid is coming home with it, look for it. To the students, most of your family members have completed high school. It is your responsibility to do the work, to follow up, to check in with the teachers, to ask for support. That doesn't mean what I'm saying to the parents is be totally hands-off, but let your children ride, okay? If your child is missing work, let them follow up with the teacher. You don't call, I can't believe this teacher didn't give my kid attention. Well, your kid's been looking out the window for the last 5 days when they were supposed to be working on a project. Me, right? So it is very important that you let the student take the lead. You can even go as far as saying to your kiddo, hey, you know what, why don't you email the teacher and CC me on the email? And then you're looped in that communication. But please, please, please empower your child to take the lead. When they go off to college and they're working, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa cannot call for them. Okay? So make sure you help us with that. We want them to become independent. Now, with the buses, rules on the bus are an extension of the school. Being respectful to the bus driver, not using foul language, following other rules. Again, everything that happens in school, same expectation on the bus ride. Some of you are going to be on the bus for a long time, okay? Some kids nap, some do homework, some play on their phone. We also run late buses. Typically, we have 2 different late bus runs. We have a bus run that goes at 4:15, that's typically on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Those buses are typically for students who are staying here after school. Every single teacher has an assigned after-school help day for kids to come and make up work, get extra support, and then we have a 6 p.m. late bus that's really for athletics. And students have to sign up for the 4:15 bus in the main office. And again, we'll go over this with students, but just to give you an idea. Okay, that is, the transportation is an immense cost to the district, but it's something we really believe in because we know that many of you are working, you're not able to get here for 4:15 to pick up your children, and we know that many of you have quite a hike to get here, okay? So please take advantage of using the transportation, staying after school. We don't provide transportation for dating or staying after school unsupervised, right? So when you stay after school, you're staying with an instructor, you're staying under the supervision of an adult. Club activities for you guys get all the driver's ed and so forth. Okay, you don't just get to stay and hang out. If you want to spend time with friends, which I encourage, do it at one of your houses. Okay? The bus routes will be posted. This question comes up all the time. Bus routes are typically not posted until middle of August, right? Because we have to give all the addresses. We deal with 3 different bus companies. We have a total of 30 buses out front and 3 vans, okay? So you can imagine it's a big task, right? We have 18 towns, 16 towns and 2 cities. So we want to make sure that you have the information. Wherever we have 2-parent homes too. We have a child sometimes spends 1 week with mom, 1 week with dad. We would need to have specific information on that and when that child rides what bus. Students cannot come at the end of the day and say, I typically ride bus 22, but today I'm going to go home with Ms. Schmidt and I'm going to ride bus 10. We don't allow that. Kids can't decide that. They need to have a note from a parent with the pass that goes to the dean's office that says we give you permission. And again, we'll give you that information on that. Now, if anyone moves during this time, okay, right now, whatever address you put on your application is the address that we are using to ensure that we have busing. Okay? So if you move over the summer, we don't know unless you call us and we can notify the bus company. So again, the bus routes will be posted. They give you an idea of the time. Students, you're expected to be, right? The bus drivers don't wait for the students. The students wait for the bus. Be mindful of that, and it's going to take a little bit of time. Students can walk up to 1 mile by state law to a bus stop. So we should get, well, it's cold outside and that's a far walk. I know, it's good workout too, okay? It's good. So please don't call. Give us time to run the route. Sometimes there are some adjustments as well. Is this the voice? Okay. So, our school day, we start at 7:40 in the morning, 2:40. 11 o'clock is our half day for us. We don't have a ton of half days. I think we have a total of maybe 5, 6 half days during the entire year. You can find our school calendar. Is it in the packet? It's in the packet that Ms. Lane has put together. One of the things for freshmen, we start during academic week. Okay? So, 8 weeks for freshmen are academics. So the nice thing is you come in, we have 9 periods. Ms. Lane will talk about this. We don't throw schedule guys, so once you know your schedule, you just go in that order every day. But you do start, because that way you can learn from all of your teachers what the expectations are, how are you going to be graded, what types of supplies and materials you need for a class. B weeks, you don't start until September 8th, and again, just starting off, nobody has to go and buy steel-toe boots or anything like that until you're permanently placed in a shop. We don't want you to spend money, but we want to make sure that you are dressed appropriately to ensure safety, right? Number one thing you need are shoes. Yeah. Enrollment paperwork too. I believe most have turned it in, but if you still have paperwork you have yet to turn in, right? We don't want students walking in the building and we don't know who to contact in case of an emergency or God forbid have any type of medical condition that we're not aware of. So if you have yet to turn that in, make sure you turn in your packet with all of that information. We have 2 freshman counselors. The counselors are assigned by last name. We have counselors assigned by the first half of the alphabet. It's Mr. John Lashbaugh. Second half is Ms. Quinn, who's here in the audience. I don't know if she wants to go out, but if you raise your hand, we can look over there. Stand up, Ms. Quinn. She's here as a family member, but so again, but remember, right, we have 2 counselors that are assigned just to freshmen, okay, so it's a beautiful thing. So they are the experts in the building. They've done this over and over and over and over So students, do not be afraid to ask questions. We're all here to support you, right? Parents, if you have a question, a concern, something about scheduling, or hey, you know what, my kid's coming home and sort of reporting this, and I'm not sure, just give us a heads up, right? Because we want to know, because we want to make sure we're supporting your students from here as well, okay? Anybody who has an IEP, if you have an IEP, one, make sure it has been shared with us, okay, from your sending districts. Most are very good, but sometimes some places are delayed, you know, it's a little crazy. We have a team chair, his name is John Mazikas, who is reaching out to the districts, which is happening now, because we know we're just down to the end. He will be scheduling transition meetings, so what he does is he'll actually go to the school, your child's school, and meet with with the IEP team and really talk about a transition, right? Sometimes things look a little bit different based on setting. We have to also consider the vocational component. For those students on 504s, again, if your child's on a 504, make sure we have a copy of that, make sure the school sent that. We don't always get those, okay? Ms. Schmidt is a 504 coordinator. She will be reviewing those plans. There are no transition meetings. She doesn't go and meet with the school, so once we get the paper plan, she will review that and just make sure that it fits our setting. Again, sometimes people talk about, like, the student will go to the timeout room. Well, we don't do timeout rooms, right? Or things that are just best practices, like, you know, my child benefits from positive reinforcement. Yes, all of us, right? And that is the expectation that I have for every single teacher in this building, right? So we really look at the fact, is that part of like a district accommodation, like best teaching practices? That's what we should all be doing with all students, because that's how we reach success. Or is it, does your child need these specific accommodations in order for them to achieve success? Okay, so Ms. Schmidt will be reviewing those. You'll get copies of them mailed home, and if she has any questions, she will be following up. And, well, I'm going to hand it over to you, because they don't hear me anymore. So here you go. No?
Hear you. I'm a little concerned that Alicia's going to kill me, so I'm going to stand in front of everybody and then she can't beat me up later. If you don't hear from me by the middle of August, if your child has a 504 middle school, please reach out, call me, or send me an email. Last year we did have one district who sent 0 504s, so we had no idea anybody from that district. So if you don't hear from me by the middle of August, please just send me an email or call me and I'll look into it. A lot of your 504s are very middle school-ish, like Mrs. Carlson was saying. So we kind of monitor them up, like she said. So, you know, expect them to be a little bit less middle school-y. Obviously, the goal eventually, is to celebrate our kids getting off the 504s because they figured it out, and that's the goal. If your child has any medical needs, we need to send that information to the nurse's office as soon as possible. If your child takes medication, you have to have a doctor's order for that medication. It has to come in the original prescription bottle or package, EpiPen as well. You have to bring it to the nurse's office. The child cannot transport medication at all at any time. The nurse's office will be in touch with you if there's any questions based on those enrollment forms. You put something on the enrollment form that says, you know, your child needs an EpiPen, and then the nurses never get an EpiPen, they're going to reach out to you. If your child has a 504 solely for a medical issue, a health issue, we do what's called health plans here. So for example, if you're a diabetic, but you don't need any classroom accommodations, you won't have a 504, you'll have a health care plan. And we do those, and they're the same teeth as the 504. Let's see. If your child, if we have any field trips and they don't have their medication, they're not going to be allowed to go on the field trip. In the packet, Ms. Laney has put a letter from the nurse's office. Please make sure you review that. Also, please, 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 on your emergency contact form, please put people who can pick your child up and who can answer the phone. If you know grandpa doesn't drive, maybe don't put grandpa as the emergency contact person, because when we call and say, come pick up Italy sick, and grandpa says, I don't drive, we have to call the next people on the list. So Make sure you take a look at your emergency contact person. People, again, if you're a two-family household, two-household family, make sure that everybody involved is listed on those emergency contact forms. You want to take over? Okay, so if you have any questions about 504, let me know. And Mrs. Laney, who's amazing, is going to finish. Okay, I'm going to try to switch microphones. Hang on. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Fantastic. Okay. So thank you. We try our best tonight to not inundate you. And I know it can feel like a lot of information, but that's truly why we give you the packet. I'm going to go over what's in there in a few minutes, just so you can take it home, look at it over the summer, digest it, send us emails, if you have questions. We will go over some information again in August at the end of orientation, but we really try to just make you be as informed as we can without overwhelming you, because we know it's a balance. So we can say as much as we want as adults about what we think you need to do to come here and be successful, but personally, to me, I think the best thing to do is tell you what our current students say. Our two freshman counselors literally just at the start of this week sent out a survey to the freshmen. So I read over their responses, and these are some of my favorites of the things that they said from literally a few days ago. Try your best, don't be nervous. Everyone is in the same boat. It seems scary at first, but you're going to get used to it fast. You will learn your way around the school in no time, and the teachers are really nice. Try not to procrastinate. Get your work in on time, work on time management, especially if you're doing a club or a sport. It may feel weird and seem scary, but it's really fun. You make so many friends from different places. Keep an open mind when choosing your permanent shop. Join a club or a sport, put yourself out there. Bring a sweatshirt. This is an important one. You might realize it just walking in tonight. Our building is air conditioned. In some sections, it just seems to be colder than others. So throughout your day, you might have different temperature for room, so bring a sweatshirt, keep it in your backpack. And do your work and make sure you click submit. As we've moved on to online, a lot of times students will say, but I did it, I know I did it. If you didn't click submit, your teacher didn't get it. So, some advice from our current freshman. So let's go over your packet. So if everybody wants to just open it up, I'm going to go through it quickly just so you can see what's in there. There is a table of contents right at the front, so hopefully make it easy as you look at this over the summer. So there should be a letter from your school counselors. The version I have in my hand doesn't have that, but you should have one. The next is frequently asked questions. So Mrs. Carlson had just touched upon some of this information. To me, this is something that might be nice to rip out, stick on the fridge or a bulletin board at home, because when you try to remember, what time did she say we get out on a half day, or what are the typical school hours? Who do I call if my child is sick and I need to have the attendance? We really tried to make it very user-friendly for you. So it talks about attendance, how you check grades, class dues, there's information. I know she talked about school messenger and communication. Technology, again, we're going to be using that Power School, so it speaks to that. And then a bit about transportation and the bus routes. Oh, there it is. So in my packet, the welcome letter from Mrs. Quinn and Mr. Lashua. It's good to read that over. They have some more information about questions that they hear a lot in their office. The next one that says, need help? We got you. Another one that might be really helpful to stick somewhere at home. Every one of our teachers stays out of school at least one day a week for extra help. That is both in the academic as well as the vocational area. We also offer after-school tutoring. So in the areas of English, science, and math. Say it's a Thursday and you have an algebra test the next day, but your math teacher already stayed, you can go
with instructions on how to create your Power School account. You actually can put an app on your phone, and that's a really convenient way to check your child's grades and attendance and just stay on top of things. The next one says bus stops, helpful information. I know Mrs. Carlson again touched upon this, but yes, it's true, your bus stop can be about a mile from your home. Usually what it is the intersection of two streets. And we really ask you, please don't call the business office those first few weeks. There's over 1,400 students. The bus routes have to be adjusted every summer. We look at the addresses of the new students. We're working with multiple bus companies. There's a lot of work that goes in it. So give us some time to work through the kinks before you start to call and ask for any changes. The next page talks about, again, our Power School parent portal. Again, you'll get that later in the summer email about how to set up your account. The next one is the school calendar. One of my favorite features about our calendar is that it does tell you which is an A, academic week, and which is a B, shop week. Sometimes students forget. They're coming back from vacation and they'll come up to me and say, I forget, am I going to shop today or academics? So having this handy is a really good way to keep yourself on track. It'll list when we have professional development, what weeks are school vacations, any of that information. The page after that talks about exploratory. At the end of the summer, again, when we have orientation, we're going to go into a greater bit of detail about the whole pre-explore and explore process for the freshmen. But I know some people like to know in advance what will you need to have. I want to reiterate what Mrs. Carlson said. You do not need to go out and purchase anything at the start of the year. Don't buy work boots yet. What I will share is that when you're going through the majority of the explorers, you do have to wear long pants and closed-toed shoes. So you can't have flip-flops, you can't have shorts. So if you're a student who's never worn jeans, you might want to start to get used to that. A lot of the shops are going to require them, so I'm just kind of putting that on your radar. The next two pages are just a chart regarding our academic program. It just shows you the sequence over the course of 4 years of the different options your children can take in terms of the math, English, science, and history, as well as the elective choices. Our entire program of studies is on our website. It's under the academic tabs if you're really interested to look into that. Summer work. You will have some summer work, students. You just have to read one book, and what's nice is it's your choice. So that next page is actually telling you it's a bingo card, and you can pick any of the options on that bingo card and read it. If you want to do more than that, fantastic, that's wonderful. But you only have to complete one, and the next page explains the directions. You do have to turn in the work the first day of school because you have academics the first day. I will remind you about that at orientation, which is the week before school, but don't put it off if you can. Start working on that now. Tonight, we are very fortunate. Many of our coaches are going to be here. You know, when we finish up here, you might have noticed there's many tables out there, but the next page talks about fall sports sign-ups. In the summer, Mrs. Carlson will send out a school messenger once the link is available on our website to sign up for sports. So all you do is click on that link. You complete a Google form sharing what sport your child is interested in. But tonight, you have a chance to go talk to many of the coaches who will share all the ins and outs about sports here. Thanks for bearing with us as we do that. Before I do final reminders and pass the torch, I wanted to share the last few pieces in your packet are actually for you to tear off at home. The one that says YOG 2029, it has the little gear symbol on the top. This is homework, students. You need to complete this and bring this with you to orientation. This is your Chromebook user agreement. I cannot give you a Chromebook that day if you don't bring this. So please, please, please put this somewhere safe, set a reminder on your phone, and bring that with you.
Yeah, homework!
All right, last page. And the last one is the save the date. So this year, if your last name starts with A through J, you are joining us on August 20th from 9 to 2 for your orientation. Or if your last name is K through Z, you are joining us on the 21st. So again, rip that off. Parents, please plan. If something comes up and you need to have your child come another day, just send me an email, it's okay. But ideally, we'd like to try to keep them pretty consistent number-wise. And we will have family orientation that night. Okay, before I pass the torch, I want to let everybody know that when we dismiss you in a little bit, the school store is open tonight. You all should have received an email with a 10% off coupon. I will let you know the line sometimes gets very long. People are very excited tonight. Our entire school store is available online. Your 10% off will work there as well. So please take advantage. And, oh, if you did not come, listen, if you did not come to placement testing, we do have another date, July 24th at 9. Mrs. DeVito, our assessment coordinator, will be sharing information about that. Okay, you guys ready? You don't need microphones. All right, ROTC, you're up.
What?
You're up.
I'm all down. Hey, good evening, class of 2029. Give it up for yourselves. That'll never do. Hey, if you're in 2029, stand up. Hurry up. Let's go. Get up. Stand up. Now give it up for yourselves. Let's go. Gonna figure this out yet. We're in the military. Good? Yes, sir. What branch? Army. Oh, I can do that for me. Myself, First Sergeant Mike Steer in the United States Marine Corps, and we run the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps here at Monty 10. Give it up for me. There is a whole bunch of misconceptions about the JROTC. First Sergeant Mike was in. Yeah. Do I have to join the military if I get this course? Oh, got it. That is a very good question, First Sergeant. No! You do not have to join the military to take our course. All right? Our course is designed. We are going to teach you leadership skills, leadership traits, leadership principles, where you can take out of high school, take it on off to college, on into your trade, and obviously
head into this high school experience fully prepared to take it on. That's what we offer you. We offer you the challenge to be above all. So if you're interested, come give it a try. Quit!
Commit!
Go to Primo!
Primo!
Take it! And spike it! Bam! Have a good evening, folks.
Throw these guys in there a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Were you prepared? No?
All right, thank you for First Sergeant Dylan and Michelson. They're quite entertaining too. So guys, before again we close off the school store again, if the line is too long, you can certainly buy things online. We do have coaches and athletes if you are interested in a fall sport or want to learn a little bit. Again, get out of your comfort zone, guys. We have students that come to Monty Tech and play a sport for the first time sometimes. Okay, don't be shy. Get yourself out there. For folks who see hablan español y quieren el paquete en español, tenemos aquí la información en español. If you want the packet, we do have a packet in Spanish. Here's the thing. You are part of our Monty Tech family, right? Communication is key. I can't help your child. We can't help your child. We can't help you if you don't reach out to us and tell us what it is you need or you're looking for. Please, 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 reach out to us. Si hablan español, necesitan ayuda también, por favor, llámenme. Quiero que todas las personas que están aquí se sientan parte de nuestra comunidad. I don't speak any other languages, but we'll hook you up with someone who does. So thank you so much to parents, guardians, family members that are here. Thank you for encouraging your child to apply to Monty Tech, and thank you for trusting us with your child's education. I promise you will not regret it. As far as some folks have asked about maybe walking the building, and the building is empty, you can't get into any shops or vocational programs, again, that is the time to do that during the orientation when your child is sick, you want, but feel free. Again, each door you go out, you're going to go out, go left or right, and our tables for athletics are here, are going to be right out on the other side. If you want to head to the cafeteria, you want to take a right out of here and go left. You're going to go all the way down to the middle of the school, and you're going to hit our cap there. If you have any questions and you need to see any of us, come on down. If not, shoot us an email. And again, thank you for joining us. I know everyone's super busy. This is a busy time, and you're here on a beautiful night, so thank you for listening to us and bearing with us. Have an awesome night, guys. Thank you. And congratulations.
Super good.